Hey everybody, my name is Jalen. I just finished up my freshman year here at the Air Force Academy. I also like to fly on my free time. I am a flight instructor and a ferry pilot. A few weeks ago, I was able to take my very first ferry trip, so it meant a lot to me, and I wanted to share that opportunity with you guys to share in what I was able to experience. So stay tuned. Just got off the plane coming from Colorado Springs to Denver. Got a quick bite to eat real quick. See y'all in a little bit. Alright, just got my food at the lounge. My flight leaves in about 20 minutes, so I'll probably spend 5-10 minutes eating and head back over to Concord Speed. Alright, so I just left the lounge and now I'm headed back to the train. Flight boards in 14 minutes, 20 seconds. The next leg of my flight is to Tulsa, and then in the morning I'm providing transition training and ferrying the plane over to Tucson, Arizona. Originally that was supposed to be at 6 a.m., so I was only going to get a few hours of sleep. Now it's scheduled for 9 a.m., which is very nice for me. Yeah, so see y'all.
Exit here for all seated. Please watch your step. All passengers.
So quick story, I was actually going through TSA earlier and they took my shaving cream, so hopefully I can find a way to get new shaving cream before I meet with Doug tomorrow. To follow up on the shaving cream incident, I have a question for you guys. Do we now consider shaving cream to be liquid? Let me know. We made it, smooth sailing, hopefully it's a smooth flight. I'm not gonna lie, coming in here past some moderate turbulence. Pretty fun though, I enjoyed it. Everybody else didn't, but it is what it is. Just landed in Tulsa. Cool little airport. Doesn't seem like there's too much going on, but those lights are pretty cool. I think it's about a 5-minute ride in the shuttle to the hotel. Hopefully I go to bed by midnight and then probably wake up around 7 tomorrow, get breakfast, plan the flight, do some weather briefing, and then I meet up with Doug after that, like 8:30ish. And we'll be out to the plane by 9 and then goes up by hopefully 9:30. All right, here's the room. Pretty simple. Just gonna crash here for the night, wake up probably around 6:30, 7 tomorrow, get some breakfast, and then we'll see what happens from there. See y'all later. Almost forgot to record this morning, but I'm here eating Hilton Garden Inn breakfast. It is pretty good. I'll head out here in about 30 minutes. But yeah, just enjoying the meal, and the eggs look like they are freshly cooked. There really wasn't anything eventful happening with the first leg of the flight. We were flying from Tulsa, Oklahoma over to basically the western part of Texas, so nothing really but planes and a ton of windmills. But we started the flight off with some basic maneuvers, stalls, steep turns, etc. And then we slowly progressed towards emergency procedures. And then really getting an understanding for the plane because his plane is very specific. It was actually an RV12 with the Rotax 912 ULS engine, but he upgraded it to be fuel injected. So it's not really a ULS or an IS. So it was fun to learn the nuances with his plane and sharing them with him as well. All right, safely made it to River Falls, New Mexico. Here's the plane. You guys can see it. And there, pretty cool FBO, nice and small. Snacks, about to head into the building. The next leg of our flight plan with Doug. See you guys in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Interesting new airport name. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Funny story with the Truth or Consequences airport. The last time I flew there was actually last year on Memorial Day. But before we got in there, we had alternator failure. Since it was on Memorial Day, nobody could fix it for us. And we had to get to Arizona. That was our destination for the day. And basically, we had to make a decision to cross the southern area of the Rockies at night with no alternator, or potentially just be stuck in Truth or Consequences. So, interesting name. But this leg was the worst by far. We had unexpected headwinds, 30 knots at times, pushing our ground speed below 60 knots. It was really bad. We actually didn't even make it all the way to Truth or Consequences. We had to land at an airport a little bit north of Truth or Consequences, only because the flight took so long. Yeah, when I tell you that we were bored in the plane trying to come up with things, believe me, because it was bad. But still fun. I'll do it again. The next leg of the flight, which was the third and the final leg, was pretty good. The headwinds died down. We got our ground speed back. That was a huge bonus. My plan with this ferry flight was not only to make the plane safely travel from Tulsa to Tucson, the Tucson area, but it was to give good instruction. And I think that that's the most important objective of this flight, because after I'm done flying with him, he's on his own. And he was a great pilot. Doug was pretty cool. He's been flying for many years. He's very familiar with the RVs. The first leg of the flight was focused on aircraft control and developing stick and rudder skills. RV12 is not too complex of an airplane, but whenever you're new to any airframe, it's always a good idea to fly with a flight instructor, get some dual instruction and get signed off, because you never know what's unique about the plane. So in the RV12, you actually have a very limited rudder, so limited rudder authority, and you wouldn't know that unless you flew with somebody else. So that's going to come into factor on crosswind landings. You have to take that into consideration. The second leg was mainly focused on the avionics. So Doug, he actually had the Garmin G3X Touch in there, which is a pretty advanced EFIS system. EFIS stands for Electronic Flight Instrument System. Basically, it takes your six pack and puts it on the screen. Really nice. It also has the EIS, Engine Information System. So everything, all your gauges are on one page, and it splits into a PFD, Primary Flight Display, and an MFD, Multifunction Flight Display. So it's just one computer, but it is pretty advanced and you can do a lot with it. So that was the goal of the second leg. And with all the time that we had, it was probably, I think, 3.5 hours on that leg. We definitely got some good practice in with that, with the autopilot, flight planning, using the Garmin database, using the external GPS as well, and learning the system's performances and limitations too. So the third leg was really Doug's leg, and the idea that I had in mind was, we had 6.5 hours of duel leading up to that, about that, maybe even 7. So he understood how to fly the plane. He understood how the avionics works. There's not much more beyond that. So what he did was he flight planned using just the Garmin database, and navigated us from basically the Truth to Consequences area all the way to Nogales, Arizona. Took us around the mountain range, took us through some restricted airspace, just make sure it is not hot first. You can always check with the center or approach control there. And landed us safely at night. We got a few night landings in. We even practiced some no flap landings, which was really interesting in the RV12 just because it's such a clean plane. But he did a great job getting us that. Little disclaimer, so since the flight took 10.8 hours, that third leg was all Doug. All right, so I was a passenger. Anything beyond 8 hours, I'm just a passenger. Wasn't exercising my privileges as a commercial pilot or a flight instructor. I was just there along for the ride. We landed about 9 or 10 at night, which isn't too late, but after a long flight like that, you do get pretty tired. But I was greeted by Tammy, who is Doug's wife. She's great. They let me stay at their house overnight, which was amazing because I, for some reason, thought I could get Uber from basically the Mexican border to Tucson. Just wasn't a good idea, but thankfully they provided hospitality, so that was amazing. They also showed me their city a little bit. We were able to eat in a cool pizza spot, and also we visited one of the national parks there that showed the Hispanic and the Native American history in the Nogales area. Just everything from crossing the border all the way to like religious stuff as well, and then how they live day to day. So that was an amazing experience. I was also able to visit the Davis Monthan Air Force Base, seeing all the decommissioned planes. Overall, it was a great trip. I really enjoyed it. So Doug and Tammy, thank you for making my experience great. They're also both retired Air Force, so that was another cool connection I was able to make. Just get some wisdom and insight from them along my path, because I'm following in their footsteps. Great people, and thank you again. Also, I almost forgot to throw in there, Tammy makes the coolest quilts, so I'm not sure how you got to check them out, but just know that she makes the coolest quilts out there. I also want to thank RV12 for Kids because I was able to get my first flight in an RV12 through them, through the RV12 that they built. They're actually selling another one. Their teen flight programs, RV12s built by high schoolers. I was a part of that program, pretty cool. Thank you to Jerry, who was my first RV12 instructor, who allowed me to build my 25 hours needed to meet insurance minimums. I didn't know how valuable it would be at the time, but I do appreciate Jerry and Air Science for Kids for making an opportunity available to me so that I can take trips like these and enjoy life. So thank you to everybody, really. I appreciate it, and I'm able to
share my passion with aviation with others. I'm able to see the country. So I'm extremely grateful. And also thank you to my Lord Jesus Christ for allowing me to just get this far in aviation and life in general. I am truly thankful to Him.